The other players died. But we beat their game. I found other winners, and they're gonna help us take Minos down.
I'm in.
First of all, I want to thank you both for giving your characters such great interior lives in such a short amount of time. I'm curious what your initial reactions reading through the script and sort of taking in what each of the room would entail was like for you.
Yeah, the first reaction was great because, I got to see the continuation of what we had created 2 years prior. And, it was great. And I had a good sit down with Adam before we started production and was just like, how can we evolve this character in the best way possible? Ben was somebody who was kind of a cynical guy who kind of gave up on life. And now he's a second chance at that life. So he wants to come at it full force and kind of be a ringleader for the group.
I loved that Tamara and Adam cast me as like a British punk rocker fan with all of the piercings and tattoos. So I really ran with that angle of a backstory and that she was a former EMT. We shot several versions of where you get to include former professions or tidbits about that life before this room. And I don't know if the EMT line actually did make it in there. So the fact that I'm like diagnosing everybody's injuries throughout the movie, it's really observant for you to say, yeah, we tried to fit in any sort of personal touches that person probably would act on in the rooms.
Did the practicality of the set sort of aid in your performances? I would assume it would.
Absolutely. These sets are so illustrious, so expansive, and all of those elements of the escape room are there. All the little details, all the nooks and crannies of the that you see on screen, they're all thought out beforehand. We had a great time too before shooting. We would go into the pre-production office and we would see the maps of all of the different rooms and all of the concept art. And that concept art was completely a 100% depiction of what we got. Sometimes you see concept art and it's one thing and then it becomes another, but they really paid attention to the detail, and that only just got us so pumped up to be in the world.
Yeah, I would say that there's so many different characters outside the actors themselves. I mean, the sets are a character, the pyrotechnics is a character, Mark Spicer, director of photography's angles are a character. So it truly is one of those films that it's the group effort coming together.
There's a scene at the beach. How difficult was dealing with the sand every day? And what was the stunt work like for you guys? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What's going on there? How many days did you shoot?
I got sand in places that I didn't even know that I had places. Yeah, it was quite insane. And again, the practical elements were there. It was a quicksand experience. They had these tubs that would pump out these bubbles and then cause us to sink. So we were having to deal with that day in, day out. And that was a good 2-week shoot, just that room alone. And the sand was a recycled sand. And so it had this like fishbowl smell. So that added to the torture.
I actually love the sand. Yes, I had it in crevices like 3 weeks later. I'm like, I'm really starting to debate how clean we get from showers because there was that, but I loved the sand. I don't know why, but I think it's kind of fun to sort of I thought masochistically was quite enjoyable. I did have a lot of sand in my mouth and eyes, but the bank was my hardest scene because the counters were so high. Not a very tall person, and jumping without hands because the hands, unbeknownst to us, set off lasers. So that was just like physically almost impossible. And we were working with marble floor and stuff. So that was something that you don't even think about reading a script. In practicality was the hardest for me.
I'm not playing your game! Not now!